Imagine waking up on the first of the month. You make your coffee, you sit down at your kitchen table, and you log into your bank account expecting to see that familiar deposit, your Social Security benefit, your VA payment, the money that pays your rent, buys your groceries, and keeps the lights on. But this time, the balance hasn't moved. The money isn't there. You refresh the page. Nothing. You call the bank, and instead of a simple answer, you're told that your funds have been flagged, held, or even returned to the Treasury Department because of a mismatch you didn't even know existed. Suddenly, your entire financial month is thrown into chaos. Bills are due, automatic payments are bouncing, and you are stuck in a bureaucratic limbo that could take weeks to resolve. This isn't a hypothetical nightmare scenario. For thousands of Americans, this is becoming a reality as a massive, under-the-radar change sweeps through the U.S. banking system. Welcome back to Senior Security Update. I am your host, Zayne. Today, we are diving deep into a critical development that is fundamentally altering how government benefits are processed, verified, and delivered. If you receive any form of federal payment, whether it's Social Security retirement, disability, supplemental security income, SSI, or Veterans Affairs benefits, you need to listen to every word of this report. We are not talking about a small tweak to the terms and conditions. We are talking about the implementation of a rigorous new gatekeeper protocol designed to stop fraud, but one that has the unintended side effect of freezing legitimate payments for seniors whose records aren't perfectly aligned. In this comprehensive broadcast, we are going to dismantle this new rule piece by piece. We will explain exactly what the name mismatch trigger is, why your bank is now legally required to be more suspicious of your deposits, and most importantly, the 3 specific steps you need to take right now, before your next payment cycle, to ensure your financial lifeline remains unbroken. We will also expose the new wave of sophisticated scams that criminals are launching to exploit the confusion around this rule. This is about protecting your money, your identity, and your peace of mind. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Why is this happening now? To understand the solution, we have to understand the scale of the problem. For decades, the direct deposit system was relatively passive. If the account number matched, the money went in. It was like a simple key fitting into a lock. But in recent years, financial predators have evolved. We are witnessing an explosion in what is known as interception fraud. Organized criminal syndicates, often operating from overseas, have developed sophisticated methods to redirect government payments. They use stolen identities to reroute Social Security checks into mule accounts, bank accounts set up solely to launder stolen funds. The losses are staggering. We are talking about hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars vanishing every year. But the real tragedy isn't the loss to the government, it's the devastation inflicted on the individual senior who relies on that money to survive. When a payment is stolen, it can take months of investigation to get it reissued. During that time, the victim is left with nothing. This crisis forced the hand of the financial industry. The banks, the Treasury, and the Social Security Administration realized that the old chain-link fence security model was no longer sufficient. They needed a digital fortress. Enter the new Deposit Verification Protocol. This is the rule that is changing everything. Think of it as a high-tech security checkpoint at the entrance of your bank account. In the past, the system primarily checked if the account number was valid. Now, the validation process is multi-layered and instantaneous. When a Treasury payment arrives at your financial institution, the system doesn't just look at the destination. It interrogates the data. It compares the name on the payment instruction against the legal name on the bank account. It checks the Social Security number attached to the deposit against the one on file at the bank. It verifies the payment type and the account status. If all these data points align perfectly, like a complex password, the gate opens and your money is available immediately. But, and this is the critical but, if there is even a single character out of place, a single discrepancy in the spelling of a name, or a mismatch in the account ownership status, the system slams the gate shut. This is an automated hard stop. It triggers an immediate freeze on that specific transaction. The money doesn't vanish, but it doesn't land in your usable balance either. It sits in a holding pattern, a digital purgatory, while the bank's compliance team investigates. So why should you be worried? You might be thinking, my name hasn't changed in 50 years, I'm fine. And for the vast majority of people, that is true. This system will work silently in the background, protecting you without you ever knowing it exists. However, the margins for error are incredibly slim, and there are specific scenarios where legitimate, honest people are getting caught in the net. Let's break down the risk zones, the specific situations that are most likely to trigger a false alarm delay. Risk zone number 1, the name mismatch. This is by far the most common culprit. Computers are literal. They do not understand context. Let's say your social security records list you as Robert J. Smith, but when you opened your bank account 20 years ago, you just used Bob Smith. To a human, that's obviously the same person. To the new verification algorithm, that is a data mismatch. Or consider a more complex scenario: marriage and divorce. If you recently changed your name due to a life event and updated your social security card but forgot to legally update the name on your checking account, the system will flag the incoming deposit as suspicious. Even a missing middle initial or a hyphenated last name that appears in one record but not the other can be enough to trigger a hold. Risk zone number 2, the joint account dilemma. This is a subtle but dangerous trap. Many seniors share accounts with spouses or adult children to help manage finances. If the Social Security benefit is coming in your name, but you are listed as the secondary account holder rather than the primary, some stricter bank protocols may flag this. The system expects the primary beneficiary of the funds to be the primary owner of the account. While most major banks handle this fine, smaller regional banks or credit unions with older software might struggle to reconcile the difference, leading to a rejected deposit. Risk zone number 3, the new account flag. If you recently switched banks, perhaps to get a better interest rate or a sign-up bonus, your new account is considered unseasoned. When a large government deposit hits a brand new account, especially if the account was opened online without an in-person ID check, the fraud algorithms go into overdrive. They want to ensure that you open the account, not an identity thief using your stolen data. This can result in a verification hold that lasts for several days until you prove your identity, delaying your access to the funds right when you need them most during the transition. Risk zone number 4, the neobank disconnect. We are seeing a rise in fintech banks, online-only financial apps that offer early direct deposit. While many are legitimate, their compliance systems sometimes lag behind the major established banks. If their internal data doesn't sync perfectly with the Treasury's new coding standards, payments can be bounced back simply due to technical incompatibility. Now, let's talk about the anatomy of a delay. What actually happens if you get flagged? It's important to understand the timeline so you don't panic, but also so you act fast. Day 1 is the payment date. You verify the funds aren't there. At this point, the funds are likely in a suspense account at your bank. The bank has a regulatory window, usually between 24 and 72 hours, to manually review the flag. A human compliance officer looks at the mismatch. If they can see that Robert and Bob are the same person based on other data like your address or SSN, they can override the hold and release the funds. This is the best-case scenario, a delay of 1 to 3 days. However, if the mismatch is severe, say a completely different last name, or if they cannot verify your identity, they are legally required to reject the deposit. They cannot keep the money. They must return it to the source. This is where the nightmare begins. Once the money is sent back to the Treasury or the Social Security Administration, it enters the reissuance cycle. The government has to process the return, update your record to show the payment failed, generate a notice to you, and then issue a paper check or wait for you to update your banking info. This process is not fast. It can take anywhere from 5 to 21 business days. That is nearly a full month without your income. For a retiree living on a fixed income, a 21-day delay isn't an inconvenience. It is a catastrophe. It means missed rent, late fees on utilities, and potentially going without medication. But here is the empowering part of today's broadcast. This is almost entirely preventable. You do not have to be a victim of a computer glitch. You can take control of your data today to ensure the gates stay open for your money. We have developed a financial health check specifically for this issue. It involves 3 proactive steps you can take this week. Step 1. The letter-for-letter audit. Do not assume your records match. Verify them. Log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Look at the profile section. How is your name listed? Is it Jonathan, John, or John? Is your middle name spelled out or just an initial? Now, open your bank statement or log into your banking app. Look at the Account Owner section. Compare the two. If there is any discrepancy, even a minor spelling difference, you need to fix it. Usually, it is easier to change your bank records than your government records. Go to the bank with your ID and ask them to update your profile to match your Social Security card exactly. Step 2. The primary owner conversation. If you use a joint account, go into your branch or call the customer service line. Ask a specific question. I receive federal benefits. Am I listed as a primary owner on this account, and will my status here cause any issues with the new deposit verification rules? If you are a secondary owner, ask if you can be promoted to a primary owner or if it would be safer to open a separate individual account solely for your benefits. Segregating your benefits into a dedicated account where you are the sole owner is often the safest strategy to avoid confusion. Step 3. The bank confirmation call. Even if everything looks right, make the call. Call your bank's support line. Tell the representative, I am aware of the new scrutiny on direct deposits for fraud prevention. I want to confirm that my account has no flags or Know Your Customer (KYC) holds that would prevent my Social Security payment from posting. Sometimes, banks have outdated ID documents on file for long-time customers, like an expired driver's license scan, that can trigger dormant flags. Updating your ID with the bank can clear these invisible hurdles. Now, we have to pivot to the dark side of this update. We have to talk about the predators who are watching this news just as closely as you are. Scammers thrive on change. Whenever there is a system update, a new rule, or a shift in policy, they use it as a hook to fish for victims. We are already receiving reports of a new wave of verification scams specifically tied to this deposit rule. Here is how the script works. The phone rings. The caller ID might even say Social Security Administration or the name of your bank, because they can spoof these numbers. The voice on the other end sounds professional, urgent, and concerned. They say, "Hello, this is the fraud department. We are calling to inform you that your upcoming benefit payment has been suspended due to the new verification rules. To release the hold and ensure you get paid on the 1st, we need to verify your identity right now." Panic sets in. You think about your bills. You think about the delay we just talked about. The scammer offers a quick fix. Just confirm your full Social Security number, your bank account login, and your mother's maiden name, and we can override the system. If you give them that information, they won't release your deposit. They will drain your account. They will steal your identity and redirect your future payments to themselves. Another variation involves a processing fee. They might say, to upgrade your account to the new secure standard, there is a one-time federal fee of $50. You can pay this via credit card or by buying a gift card. This is the reddest of red flags. So, let's establish the iron rules of engagement for dealing with these threats. These are non-negotiable rules to keep you safe. Rule number 1. Inbound is out of bounds. If someone calls you about a problem you didn't know you had, it is a scam. The Social Security Administration will never call you to threaten a suspended payment. Your bank will never call you and ask for your password or PIN. If you get such a call, hang up. Do not be polite. Do not explain. Just disconnect. Rule number 2. The callback protocol. If you are worried there might be a real issue, you take the initiative. Locate the phone number on the back of your debit card or on an official statement. Call that number. Ask them, I received a call about a payment hold. Is there any issue with my account? 99% of the time, they will tell you your account is fine and that you just dodged a bullet. Rule number 3, the fee fallacy. There is no cost to receive your benefits. There is no upgrade fee for direct deposit security. The government does not take payment via gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. If anyone mentions paying money to get your money, it is a lie. Rule number 4, text and email hygiene. You might get a text message that looks like a bank alert. Urgent. Deposit failed. Click here to verify. Do not click the link. These links install malware on your phone or take you to a fake website that looks exactly like your bank's login page. If you enter your credentials there, you are handing the keys to your financial life over to criminals. Delete the text. If you want to check your account, open your official banking app directly or type the web address into your browser manually. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Why is this specific update so critical? It represents a shift in the responsibility of financial safety. For years, we relied on the system to just work. Now the system is asking us to be partners in our own security. The banks are building higher walls to keep the bad guys out, but those walls can also keep legitimate owners out if we don't have the right credentials. This new rule, despite the potential for short-term friction, is ultimately a positive development. It is a necessary evolution to protect the integrity of the safety net that millions of Americans rely on. The threat of elder financial abuse is real and growing. By tightening the verification standards, the banking sector is making it significantly harder for criminals to siphon off funds that belong to our veterans and our retirees. However, the transition period is where the danger lies. The period where the old rules fade and the new rules take hold is where confusion happens. And confusion is expensive. That is why taking action now is so vital. You do not want to be the person trying to fix a name mismatch on the 3rd of the month while your rent is overdue. You want to be the person who fixed it 3 weeks prior, who sleeps soundly knowing their data is pristine. Think about your financial health like your physical health. You go to the doctor for checkups to catch problems before they become emergencies. This name and number audit is your financial checkup. It costs you nothing but a few minutes of time, but the return on investment is the security of your livelihood. This is also a time to have a conversation with your family. If you have elderly parents or neighbors who might not watch channels like Senior Security Update, tell them about this. Ask them, hey, does the name on your bank account match your social security card exactly? Help them check. You might be saving them from a month of financial stress. Community awareness is our best defense against both bureaucratic error and criminal exploitation. We also need to consider the future of these regulations. This is likely just the beginning. As digital identity technology improves, we will see even more stringent checks. We might see biometric verification or two-factor authentication becoming mandatory for accessing government funds. Staying ahead of the curve, staying informed, and being willing to adapt your banking habits is the key to thriving in this new digital landscape. Let's summarize the key takeaways one last time to make sure they stick. The new rule: banks are now using automated, strict matching of names and data for government deposits. The risk: minor discrepancies like nicknames, maiden names, or joint account status can trigger payment holds or returns. The solution: audit your bank and social security records to ensure they match perfectly. Verify your primary account holder status. The scam warning: ignore unsolicited calls or texts claiming your payment is blocked. Never pay a fee to release funds. Your Social Security or VA benefit is not just a number on a screen. It is the fruit of your labor. It is a promise made to you by your country. You have earned it, and you deserve to receive it without delay or harassment. By taking these simple steps, you are not just following a rule, you are securing your lifeline. This is Zayne for Senior Security Update. My goal is to keep you informed, protected, and one step ahead of the changes that impact your wallet. If you found this breakdown helpful, please share it with others in your circle. Knowledge is safety. Stay vigilant, verify your details, and I will see you in the next update with more news that matters to you.